Okay, so we're going to be looking at the cultural variations in attachment. So that is, different cultures have different norms and values. Does that affect the attachment type within that culture? Okay, so Van Isendorn and Cronenberg, they did a really interesting investigation in 1988. Now they use what you call a meta-analysis methodology, which is where they research the statistics from other studies that have already been conducted and come up with conclusions. And what they're looking for here is percentages, proportions of secure, insecure avoidant and insecure resistant attachment types across a different range of countries. So a meta-analysis is looking at numbers of studies that have already happened, so sort of the results section of studies. Through all of these studies, the Ainsworth strain situation has been the test to test the attachment type. So just a quick reminder of the strain situation. The 4 behaviours that they're looking for is the separation anxiety, the stranger anxiety, and interestingly the reunion behaviour, because that tells us the most, and the willingness to explore. Okay, so the procedure was they were comparing the 32 studies across 8 different countries that use the strange situation to measure attachment type. They had about 1,990 children that they were taking this meta-analysis from. And what they were looking for was mainly the difference between Western cultures and non-Western cultures. So you can see the Western is Britain, Germany, America, and the non-Western, Japan, China, and Israel. Okay, so these are the findings from the meta-analysis, and we can see that Germany has the largest insecure avoidant attachment type at 35%. We can see that Britain is 75% secure and only 3% insecure resistance. China has got 50% secure, 25% avoidant and 25% resistance. So some interesting findings there between cultures. However, a really interesting finding was the thing you can see at the bottom of the table, the 1.5, which is 150% difference between cultures. So, for example, if the studies were taken from America, the studies varied greatly in their results. So one study found 46% securely attached, compared to another one which found a sample as high as 90%. So actually what they found was a big variation within cultures across the different strange situation assessments. So interestingly, we can conclude from this that there are definitely significant cross-cultural differences in attachment types. This could be due to cultural practices such as collective society, individualized societies. It could be, parents returning to work, not returning to work, what the culture encourages. So think about your social psychology there. However, there are greater differences within cultures than between cultures, which is very significant. Okay, so sticking with the strange situation is the assessment for attachment. There was an Italian study done in 2014. 76 12-month-old babies were assessed for attachment type. And in Italy, it was found that 50% were secure, 36% insecure avoidant. Now, this is a lower rate compared to other studies for the secure attachment. So what they sort of concluded from this was the cultural change in the expectations of mothers. So mothers going to work and putting their children in childcare. So this is a cultural sort of shift, the change, a bit of temporal validity occurring here between attachment types. Jin et al. In 2012 did the same study in Korea, and he was looking for the differences in attachment types between Korea and other cultures. Now, he found the results were about the same, so nothing unusual. The unusual thing occurred was that when he was looking at the insecure, what he found was that most of the Korean children were insecure resistant. So if you remember that resistance is shown at high levels of stress for stranger and separation anxiety, and when the reunion happened, the resistance to be comforted was extreme. So they had more of the resistant attachment than they only had one avoidant attachment. So the question really is this surprising? Are you surprised there are cultural differences in attachment types? I think some of the most interesting research will come with temporal validity issues. So what was once the norm for attachment, has that now changed given the cultural or the social pressure for mothers to return to work at a faster rate than ever before?